Welcome to the episode of the Love Not Fear podcast. I'm your host, David Henzel, and I'm here with my co-host, Eduard Brink. And today we are talking about...
Yes, David. Are you ready for it?
I was born ready.
Committing versus trying.
All right.
So I'll give you a little time to think about this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody agrees that we are all victims of attempts. If somebody says, I'll try to do X, Y, Z, so what does it say? Most often you won't believe it. But we are doing this ourselves the whole time. So we don't like it when people say it to us, but in the end, we do it every time. So one of the things I found from a personal experience is that commitment backed by habits saves a lot of mental energy. So if you haven't decided, are you going to do something or not, and just have it in the middle, it is eating tons of energy. It could be this lingering thing that that you say, okay, are you doing this by choice? Is it going to bite me in the ass? Am I going to regret it? Am I going to be fearful if I don't do it? So having a sort of a parking lot, for me it works if I have I put it in Notion somewhere. I use Evernote as well. I write down these brilliant ideas, but often writing these ideas down, I am rid of it and I'm fine with it. And most often a couple of months later, when I relook at my notes, I see that they no longer make sense or are no longer in line with my core values.
Yeah, I have very strong feelings about the word trying. Everybody who knows me a little better was probably annoyed by me, with, I guess, a submission of my personal mission is to rid the world of the word try for several reasons. I think trying is the most inefficient way not to do something. For example, if I give you a call and you say, I tell you, hey man, can you pick me up from the airport? And you say, yeah, I'll try. I'll definitely call somebody else.
Yeah, right.
And every time somebody in my team uses the word try, ask them to do something and say like, I'll try, I take a step back and say like, hey, it's like you're doing this out of fear. Because like if I try something, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to quit smoking, I'm trying to do XYZ, then you're doing out of, you have an element of fear in there versus like, I'm going to freaking do this. I'm going to, lose weight. I'm going to do XYZ. So from an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming standpoint, we program ourselves with our words, which is beautifully described in one of my favorite books, which is The 4 Agreements. Where he talks about we're all wizards with our words. We can build people up with our words, or we can destroy people with our words. We can either be black or white wizards. And so in when I talk with, also how you talk with yourself, are you a black wizard or a white wizard with yourself? And I do my best not to use words like try, must, or have to. I do not have to do my homework. I want to do my homework.
So this topic came about because I know you're very strong. It's like you if you want to have a strong reaction from David, just use the word try. It is like a trigger word for you. But how about commitment? Do you have what does that say to you? Is it like, is it the opposite of trying? Because I think commitment is intentions times focus. Could be one definition.
Yeah, I think committing, once you commit to something, then magic happens. Once you commit to doing something, also I'm a big habits nerd. I think habits determine everything in your life. If you're rich or poor or happy or unhappy or obese or in shape, it all boils down to habits. And if you commit to a habit and you do it on a regular basis, like, going to the gym once does not change anything, but going to the gym like 3 times a week, change a lot. And this applies to all the other things, like doing a podcast. Us doing like 10, 20, 30 episodes will probably not make that big of a dent. But once we're at episode 500, the game will really change. And a friend of mine posted something, it was something along the lines, if you're not willing to commit to do it for 100 times, don't even think about doing it. If you start a podcast and you're not sure if you want to do 100 episodes, then like don't try. And I'm using this word very consciously because I usually don't use it, but in this case, if you're not willing to really go all in,
But this is
and do it.
I like to place a little nuance on that, because the way you put it is very strong, and it might be off-putting with people that want to find out if want to try
Mhm.
want to find if something is good for them. I like the fact that in starting new habits, let's say you want to pick up running. It could be the first day you just put on your sneakers next to your bed. Next time you dress up. I mean, getting there and not beating yourself up about being a perfect marathon runner from day one could actually build up the muscle that it takes to get this habit going.
Mhm.
So yeah, playing safe.
I think committing and being aware of that it's gonna take time and that you're not perfect from the start are two different things. I think it's part of committing is knowing that you want to break down, or I like to break down the big task into smaller chunks so it's digestible, and that I also have like the small wins that give me momentum. Also, and knowing that our podcast episodes in the beginning are probably not that great comparing to the ones that we'll have at episode 500. When I look at old videos of me,
No.
I cringe, but it's just like being okay with this and knowing that by committing to doing something over and over and over, you will find mastery.
Yeah. True. For me, the love not fear statement is like an umbrella for doing things that are new, but I do it out of love. And yeah, by doing nothing, you'll definitely know what you get. That is nothing. So by playing safe, seeking comfort, wanting to be right, keeping up appearances, basically could sum up as the word ego.
Hmm.
Ego is a big thing. It stands in the way to getting what you want. So not having what you want is often a direct effect of lack of commitment.
Hmm.
Agree?
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And acting out of love, like it's fear always creeps in, like you're doing something new and you're not going to be great at it. And this, as you said, like ego, will not make me look that great. But I admire this in people when they have the guts to do something new and knowing that you're going to suck at it in the beginning, but it's totally fine. But
People actually love seeing people being vulnerable. And if it's sincere, it doesn't matter how bad it is. I'd rather listen to a crappy song delivered by somebody with passion than the other way around. An artist that has a very good song, but a performance like, okay, I have to do it because I need to be somewhere else in 5 minutes.
actually,
So passion is
is key. On the idea of committing versus trying and getting good over time. I saw some social media snippet of Ed Sheeran, this this famous singer, and somebody said like, "Oh, you're so great. You're so talented." And he's like, "No, I'm not talented." And he showed him like an early recording of him, and like playing in voice was really, really bad. It's just as a point, like just if you commit to doing something, you'll gain mastery. But it's about commitment, and it's a little tangent, but I would like to share anyway. I committed to doing the Bodrum half marathon, even though I never ran
right.
21 kilometers before. And committing to this really changed everything in terms of my fitness levels. I reached my weight goals, etc. And I was it's coming up in a few days. I did my last run before the marathon yesterday, and while running, I thought about something about people, using people who have committed or have geeked out on a subject for a very long time are so valuable to have them in your life.
I'm triggered about the word having commitment. Having commitment is you don't have commitment. You create commitment. For me, that is a trigger word. Oh, I don't have the commitment. You create it.
Yeah, of course, you create.
Actions trigger results, and commitments trigger actions. So by deducting what gets result, everybody agrees. Actions get results, right? And what gets you to action is a commitment. So,
Nike slogan, just do it.
Yeah, that we could do a whole podcast on that one. I have strong feelings about that one because there's some false positivism in there as well.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to finish my thought on, and I want to give a shout out to our EBC fellow Nick, who's been running lots of like ultra marathons, etc. So he like really committed and geeked out on the subject. So he's an expert, and we ran together, and he gave me some tips on my posture and my hip position, and this really changed so much in my running performance and how I feel and like pain, etc., and also speed.
Yeah.
So you having these people that have committed in a long time, and you ask them for advice is so crazy valuable.
We're going to do a special episode on this, but putting yourself in the right environment and telling about what your plans and intentions are. We are not going to weave it into this one. It's way good of a topic to not do a special one on. But definitely tap onto this one, because how powerful is to put yourself in a situation where you can learn and gain from the insights of other people. Well, I have my own version of your Ed Sheeran version. There's this little. I live in Utrecht, and Utrecht is the birthplace of this little rabbit called Miffy internationally. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a cartoon character, and the creator of Miffy was Dick Bruna, Nijntje in Dutch. And I saw an early drawing of Nijntje, which was not remarkable at all, but it was 95% of the Miffy that went viral internationally. I mean, hundreds of millions of people know Miffy, especially you go to Asia and Japan. They love it. And this drawing, it was very inspirational to me. You could see that it was not perfect. Actually, if you would look at the drawing itself, it's pretty shitty, worthless. But it was already 95% of the perfect. Yeah. There is so little difference between that drawing and the one that rocked the world. So that was so beautiful. Maybe I can put a link in the show note, or you have to.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now because I did not know the name, but now seeing it, I've definitely seen this.
I think the whole world has seen it, but okay, this is just. But the inspiration part is the drawing that Dick Bruna did maybe a couple of months before nailing it. Okay. What was it? Committing versus trying?
Committing versus trying, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I have some call to actions in mind.
Okay.
So call to action is to look through the things that you're doing, look through your plan the things that you're doing, and think about like where are you really committed and where are you digging around and just trying, and then figuring out like, is it worth to keep this or to remove it and just like focus on the things where you really want to commit.
Nice. And what if I would add something to it?
Please.
The topic of closing escape routes.
Like burn the ship, so you have to.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So maybe, get right to it and say, oh, this is not going to happen. Yeah. Okay. Nice one. Yeah. Let's leave it at that. Okay.
And
Talk
also,
to you next one.
Please comment below, and if this is on YouTube or wherever you see it, if you can comment, please comment and let us know what your main takeaways are, because others will be able to learn from this as well. So I'd really appreciate this.
Or you have maybe, if you know somebody that we should be interviewing in this podcast series, we're going to start doing that as well. So leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Okay.
Awesome.
Take care.
See you next one.
See you next time. Bye.